I choose this project for present today. Its name is Inside Out House. This project it was completed in 2020, 3 years, 4 years ago. Okay, let me talk about the background of the project. This house is belong to a couple who's work in the advertisement industry in Thailand, and the location is very near to their workplace. It's named or town in town, which is the area is very high density residential area. Um, and when we talk about the high density area in Bangkok, it means very high density. So the when you see the map, the pink part is the location of the house. When you see the surrounding of the house is like a very density, low rise residential, and the street in front of the house is quite narrow. For like a when 200 meters away from the back of the house is a highway. Yeah, so it's like a very crowded and very pollution, noise pollution. The total area of the land plot is around 600 square meter. It's not quite big, and but compared to the requirement of the owners, it seems like quite small because they need a lot of function in their house. From the requirement of the owner, come from two of them. From the people who is the husband, he take over all about the function requirement and about the design direction to brief me. And for the wife, his wife, she has only one, two requirement. She need 100% privacy because she sometimes she uh, want to dress easily, walk in the house and open all the window. So she need to be very privacy. And the second requirement from her is she need a good ventilation and comfort living space. From their requirement is quite uh, contrast. Like they need very privacy, so I have to cross all the things like keep it the enclosure very close, very close, but they need like good ventilation. From these requirements, I try to think how to deal with the concept of the high residential area, the privacy, and the good ventilation. When we try to think about how to deal with the owner requirements, it's make me think back to my childhood when I live in the rural area. Why I think about my my childhood because I think when I live in the rural area in the Thai traditional house, it has a very good very good ventilation and space for living is quite comfort. Um, and what I remember from the Thai traditional house is a kind of the planning of the house, the way uh, the wind and go through the house. The Thai traditional house is combined with the like many unit, many living unit, and connected each other with the big terrace in between, and it is allowed the wind come through all the building.
So actually, in Thai traditional houses, that you have the first floor basement, and I think it's quite typical of the vernacular, the local vernacular, is that we do have a lot of floods, and we do have a lot of kind of usage for the first floor basement. So what's underneath the house is that it's used for just storage, everyday things, and then the actual housing is actually on top.
Yeah.
And with this way is that in a way, this type of traditional design is used to maximize both the safety of the owner of the house, as well as to allow for ventilation to go underneath the house, as well as going through different functions. So there's actually no kind of board.
Yeah, it's yeah.
There's no yeah.
It's quite the same here actually. How we make our vernacular houses in the past, since we basically have the same climate. Yeah. And for the same reasons, like we elevate our houses to protect it from predators and floods.
And it is the next thing we gonna mention about. The first thing is the plan of the Thai house, Thai traditional house. The second thing is the space underneath the house. This is two of spaces. Remind me how when I was a student, I always play under the house, and it's very comfortable, really very the ventilation is very good. So from the third element I remember from my traditional house is how they manage the light when they come through the like a screen to diffuse the gradient of the sunlight. The three things is I familiar with, and I try to use it in this project. As you can see, this is the plan of the house, the inside out house. From the beginning, when I start the project, I make my goal that I don't think about the exterior first. I will think everything from the inside, from the organization of the function. And the last thing they're going to do is the exterior. So I'm going to explain everything from planning and final with the exterior. From the planning of the house, this is first floor planning. It's kind of normal thing is for the service part. Here it is the plot, the land plot. Oh, it's just As you see, the house quite very fit to the house. It's like maximize the space because the land is quite expensive. So the owner try to use mainly every square meter. So for the first floor or for the service part and parking, and we put the circulation core here. This is a lift and staircase to bring all the family member to the second floor. As you see, when we look at the first floor plan, you can see the many internal courtyards. I try to use it as the way to bring the wind come through the house, and you see it clearly in the second floor. This is the plan of the second floor that I try to implement the Thai traditional house plan we use in this floor. As you can see, it's kind of combination of the 4 living unit. The first one here in the top left corner is a circulation core, and the second one is here. It is his office and his gallery. He's gonna work here, and their artist collection is gonna be on this wall. And the third space is a living area where all the members of the family come to spend their time together. The last function is a massage room for her wife. His wife. And it's placed here because they have a small staircase here. The massage, the trainer can come from this stair to service and go back without
accessing the main route.
So as you can see, all the functions separate from each other, but it connect to each other with the big terrace here, same as a Thai traditional house. this kind of my experiment how to control the wind. The wind, the natural wind from is going to come from this angle. So it will come through this and this way. If you see the wall here, when we start construction, we cancel it because it's blocked the air. So mainly the ventilation will come from this area to go through this area, and it will come out from here. You can see from the section. This is where we do the plan, and we continue the courtyard from the first floor to show up in the second floor. And we also put the swimming pool here because one of the requirement is narrow swimming pool to when the wind comes through here, they will bring the moisture to make this area more comfort. And then the third floor is mainly is for the bedroom for the owner. This is one part is for master suite, and another one is for his son. That's it. The function is quite simple. And the way I use the kind of technique of Thai traditional plan, I didn't use it only in the horizontal dimension. I try to apply this in vertical dimension, as you can see in the section when the wind comes through the building. It will come and hit on some plane, and we change its direction to make all the area can get the benefit from the wind. And I try to decide the size of the opening to control the strength of the wind. And the last thing I use is a filter light, or combine the plan in axonometric. You can see how the wind works through the house, through the opening. The second one is bed under the house. I use it in the main living area. Actually, here is a for space, but it can be open, like a fully open to connect to the exterior. And they're gonna live in this area and feel like they live sit down in the under of the house. Same as his gallery and his studio. If we open or the window, this can be fully open, and all the wind can come through this building. This is our overall atmosphere of the second floor area. As you can see, that owner will live in the living room, but connect with the exterior.
So what we have is that the area here links to the first floor basement. And actually, when the ventilation comes up, this whole area creates a chimney effect as both the winds from all four directions and from the basement comes up and go through here as a chimney effect. But with Thailand's intense sunlight that actually gives you a third-degree burn, we have to create this massive fins to create a filter for the sunlight. So as the light that comes down to the pool and the terrace area is not so intense, and it won't reflect so badly into the house. So the house itself is one of the reasons why we didn't use white. It's partly because we want to dampen the sunlight, the sunlight that might come into the house.
As we're gonna see in the section what Royce is talking about, and the concrete fin will reduce the sun from the outside. This is the kind of effect that the filter light that we make it. You can see the shade of and it's quite interesting when the sun is moving. All the space change every time, and this is how in the morning this is we talking about a filter light that we try to apply from the traditional house.
But guys, this
Yeah,
style
also,
of traditional Thai home is something that is still people are using, or it's changed with the modern style completely?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
This style of traditional Thai home, like how you can separate each space and give each one privacy, is something that is still common in Thailand, or it's changed with the modern style right now?
I think it almost changed like many factor, like economic factor. We have to live in smaller space. We have to do a compact house, so we don't have chance to do this kind of thing. But for this house, we can do because the functional area is not a lot, not many. So we have some
area to play with that. But I think with any metropolis, any big cities, the cost of the land is skyrocketing all the time, and having this kind of space is an absolute luxury to be able to do, to be able to have this type of ventilations. So the client was kind enough and was generous enough for us to be able to do something like this inside the city. So do we have this type of architecture, this modification of Thai traditional house inside the city? Very few, because of the limitation of space. But there are some architects who implement parts of the language of traditional vernacular house, and we do see them sometimes, but maybe they haven't been promoted as much as the modern buildings.
Yes, exactly. This type of traditional style is kind of disappearing right now, unless some designer bring it into a so modern way that attracted people to this design. And you did such a great job here. But for the ventilation, did you have to like analyze it with some software? Like you have to make some simulation, or you knew it by the traditional like lesson that you had before?
Actually, when we do the experiment, we want to go to the internal lab, but unfortunately, we didn't go to the lab. We understand it from our experience and from our experience, and do some kind of.
And you mentioned you did some experiment in the site during construction, like removing those walls and changing the construction.
Yes, we do some change in the when we do the construction. Like the one I mentioned about the wall, we didn't make it because when we have only the structure, the wind is very flow very good. Yeah. And after we start to make some wall, the wind is come.
We get less wind.
Less wind.
Once we start building up the walls.
Yeah. So we start to opening. We're gonna expand or which wall we have to move it. This is only one thing we explain on the wind. And as the climate in our area is quite different.
It is very flexible in terms of light directions and wind directions. So depending on what time of the year, the sunlight changes directions all the time, as we all know. Whatever we learn in the classroom, just throw it out of the window. Just experience it. Just experience it from your home.
For this house, 80% of the year, the wind is quite good. But when the storm is coming, they have a bit problem about the sometimes stronger wind.
And did you find that you said you removed part of this wall, and did you did you change a lot during construction for this house? How many design decisions did you have to adjust and change during construction? Yeah.
Mainly it's about the wall. Actually this one is kind of main thing we do for the wall, but for the other thing we did we did change this concrete fin. We have to like a kind of measurement on site how deep it is gonna be perfect. The contractor have to do like a mock up with the plywood to explain about the depth. Our requirement is the sunlight is not gonna touch his bed for all about the year. So after we do some 2-3 experiment about the depth, we get the right depth of the concrete fin. This is.
So we have an on-site mock-up.
Yeah, you have this feature only on top of the bigger void, right? Or you have it in the. Oh, okay.
And another thing we did when we finished doing with the internal organization of the space, we go to do something for the exterior. This is interior space. This is overall image atmosphere for the interior space. You can see the connection between the courtyard. Actually, it's gonna have a big tree here, but nowadays the tree has gone. Okay. For the exterior, after all the things have been done, we do some experiment about the texture, the material of the exterior wall. This is as you see, it's quite big square concrete wall without any shadow gap, and without. So if we did it in other building, is in 2 years we have to see the many cracks on the wall because the sunlight is very strong. This project we try to use spray paint color. This texture paint color. This is have like a 700% elastic.
Yeah.
So after 4 years, it's still the same, not crack happen. So this is one of material. I think we make a right decision to use it, but it's quite a lot of money the owner have to spend on it. But
it is worth it when the owner doesn't have to see the cracks on the wall every day as they come home, and the maintenance that goes into fixing those basic construction flaws. So yeah,
you still get to save in the long run because you don't have to repaint, right?
It is overall of the exterior wall, and that's it. Okay, thank you.
That's great. Can we go back to the interior diagram or pictures?
Which one?
Diagram.
Any of them, it's okay. I just want to say one unpopular opinion here. this is really good for even your health, that you have to, in order to get to a place, you have to move actually around the house, and you have to like go some step, you have to go some corridor, you have to actually physically move in this house, and it's good for your health. Like these days, like every places are so combined together, and everything like so is, you have easy access to everywhere, that people don't even like move inside, like you are located inside a closed like a space, and that's it, like you're still in one place. But actually in this traditional home, they have to like move around the house, they have to do some activities, and it was an actual workout during the day without even you knowing this.
I think with traditional Thai building, what we have is we have a nucleus style of living. So in each set of building of kind of the main buildings, is that we have the fathers and mother living in one building, the father and mother living in one building, and then you have the children or the guests, or the eating and the living area. So all of this different functions, and is the things that separates the functions and the
amazing privacy,
given everyone some privacies, and also their own space. So which is something that a lot of maybe real estate houses or condos won't give you, is that you have your own space from everyone else. And this is something that reflects in this project, is that we give each function their own privacy.
Like I said, when the husband work here and his guests come to meeting with him, he gonna walk through this area without
bothering the rest of the family.
Yeah, nice circulation. And guys, did the placement of the swimming pool help at all in terms of the cooling of the interior of the space, based on the client's feedback? Or was it really their intention? Yeah.
Actually, the main requirement of the pool is come from the owner, but we can see the benefit to place it here. So we, according to the land plot and the size of the pool, it has to be located in somewhere narrow. And the reason why we put it here, because yes, as you said, when the wind comes, it can bring the moisture to all the area, and so it makes this floor is quite cool.
Actually, the temperature difference before we fill up the pool and after we fill up the pool is quite different.
So
when the humidity change, the wind is coming.
And one of the reasons we put it away from the living area is that because of the humidity from the pool, we don't want the living area to be so humid. We're a tropical country anyway. It's quite the air is quite wet already. So we push the pool a little bit further away, giving it plenty of humidity to evaporate before it reaches the living area, but still giving it the refreshing breeze.
And I guess they were also able to cut back on their electricity. They don't have to use as much air conditioning, I assume, because of your layout, right? With ventilation.
Right. Yes.
That's so great, guys. Perhaps we can move on to the final question. Do you have any question, Lionel?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
That's so great. Guys, we have this question at the end of each meeting, and it's, what's your advice to the younger generation of architects, designers that want to start their own career now?
To start their own career. Well, for me, as an interior, I think what you want to do is kind of stick with stick with your passion, the tenacity that you have. It's not an easy profession, architecture and interior and design. But in my personal experience is that I would like people to experiment more, to be more hands-on on the materials. Don't look at catalogs. Don't look at the internet, and go out there within your community, within your country, and find the most interesting materials. Is something that maybe at the end of your hands is always there, and find it and use it and be creative. And that's probably my advice, is that just go out there and try and get your hands dirty.
I agree. From me, I think most of us, when we study in architecture, we study from the subject architecture is from the Western. So most of our teachers study about, and they teach us. It is a very good basic learning to make you think as architect. But when you gonna start work as architect in your country, you have to look back to your background and the way they live in their country, where comfort area, how to mix that kind of thing with the way the knowledge you have. Because when I start my career, I like to do something very modern as well, because I fascinated in very much the great master Western architect, which is very good. I have to study about their planning, their section, but when I come back to work in Thailand, I have to do some more research about. And I think it's quite good to develop our skill to be an architect. Study about the technique, the traditional technique, the wood technique, or whatever technique is this come from the construction side. We should not stay at the office only. We have to go to the construction site as much as we can and learn from the craftsman.
Right. Ask a lot of questions. There's no shame in doing that. So yeah.
That's so great.
And
thank you guys so much. You have such a great project with great attention to the detail. Wish you the best of luck in the future project. Thank you for sharing these ideas with us today.